Hello, goddesses and gods, if you're watching. It's Carla, and I am here with the Divine Feminine Astrology reading for September, the new moon in Libra. Sun and moon are together in Libra at 5 degrees, 20 minutes Libra, and that's happening tomorrow at 2:26 p.m. in the Eastern time zone where I live. So I'm looking at this chart. I'm going to talk about, while I wait for people that are going to find me that I'm here, I just got back from the beach, my town beach, Mossman Park in Searsport, Maine. And this time of year, it's hard to tear me away because any day I'm going to go out and it's going to be too cold to swim. I mean, literally. And I'm a little bit chilled now because I stayed in the water a really long time and swam a lot. And I left the beach at 1 hour before low tide. And what I noticed is I have never seen the tide this low. And it wasn't even full low tide. The new moon and the full moons are when the tides are most extreme. So I'm really looking forward to going and seeing what low tide looks like tomorrow, even closer to the new moon. Observing nature, being in nature with my whole body is a part, it's really what feeds me. It's how I communicate with self and with God. It's how I pray. And that's one of the reasons why I do Divine Feminine Astrology readings, because it's another way of communing with nature. Looking at the astrology chart is about looking, it's a way of interpreting the messages from nature. The nature that is mysterious and feels far away, because we're talking about heavenly bodies. Most of these are planets in our solar system, which in terms of the universe, it's like, the fingers of my hand. But there are parts of this, there are stars on this chart, and there are points in this chart that are so beyond. They could be the very center of the universe for all we know. And the chart is a way of decoding their energies so that we can make some sense of it. So the new moon, every month we have a new moon where the sun and moon are conjunct, and it creates a portal, the beginning of a 30-day cycle, a 29-day cycle, by which we can measure ourselves. We can evaluate what's going on in our lives. We can step into new opportunities. We consciously step through a doorway, over a threshold, and set powerful intentions for ourselves. We can release. When we step over a threshold consciously, we're leaving something behind in the other room. And we are taking on something new. Every single month, nature reminds us of how to do this. And we've just had the Libra equinox, which brings us into a new season. We're in the autumn in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere, it's springtime. So that is another threshold, another portal in a bigger cycle of the year. So what I always like to do, it's necessary really, is to see what's going on at this moment of the new moon portal. And then again, the full moon, which is kind of like the maturation of this particular cycle and this particular doorway that we step through. And when I look at the sun and moon together in Libra at 5 degrees, the most impactful direct aspect to those those planets, the sun and the moon, is their opposite Chiron in Aries. Chiron is at 335, so it's an opposition that's about 2 degrees. Hi, Barbara. And thank you for listening in from New York. It's good to see you. So what does it mean when the portal, when Chiron is holding the other end of the kite string of this portal? Well, it says it's a time for healing, and it's a time for paying attention. It's a time for profound awareness to everything that's going on in this chart and in your life. Chiron was the healer. He is the creator of medicine. He's also a mentor. He teaches. He was the mentor to the great heroes in Greek mythology. So he is more than just a healer. He doesn't wave a magic wand or sprinkle centaur dust on people, if there were such a thing. He teaches you. He teaches you how to heal yourself, how to assess what's going on in your life, how to go within, how to receive the input that's coming from the outside, and how to be wise, how to take everything that is coming your way and distill it into wisdom and knowing. That's what Chiron does, and he's stern, and he doesn't stand for bullshit, and he absolutely stands for the very highest of your potential, whatever the circumstances appear to be in your life. So he is opposite this full moon, which is in Libra. Libra is usually an indicator that relationships are involved, and these could be love relationships, especially when Venus is in Libra. She rules the sign of Libra. Excuse me, there is a giant. What the heck is that? I've got to put my glasses on. I'm here in my studio with a window. I think it must be a raven. It's bigger than a crow. It's black. Oh, it was looking really huge. Pay attention. Who are the creatures who show up for Divine Feminine Astrology readings and my client sessions? Yeah. So I was just talking about Venus ruling Libra. She is the goddess of love and beauty and abundance. She is the bright and shining avatar of the Divine Feminine at home in the sign of balance, of relationship. It calls up Sag rising, return. Good, thank you. Thank you for that bit. So pay attention to this. You're having your Chiron return right now. This new moon opposite is a special doorway for you to walk through in the course of your Chiron return. Let's see if what else I have to say gives you some insight to carry forward into that. So with Venus, the bright and shining avatar of the goddess in her home sign of Libra, anyone who is wanting to deepen relationship, the romantic, erotic aspects of your relationship with a significant partner, or just being able to express your feminine in your erotic power and juiciness and vitality. It starts inside of you, whether you're wanting to be attractive to lots of partners and just really feel yourself out there, or whether you're wanting to attract a single, the one, your life partner, or whether you're wanting to reconnect and deepen the relationship that you're in right now. This new moon with Venus in her home sign, this whole moon cycle, really, this is setting off the moon cycle By the time of the full moon, Venus, I think, will already be in Scorpio. I just looked it up, and I didn't look that carefully, but I believe I noticed. I'm not sure. She might still be in Libra, and I know that Mercury will definitely be in Scorpio. So she is going, let's talk about Venus a little bit more, because what is she going to tell us in this particular trip through her home sign, one of her home signs? She is going to be making contact with Hecate, the crone. Let's hear it for cosmic crones. And Mercury is racing ahead of her. She won't be touching Mercury, who's right now at 23 Libra. She will be touching Haumea, who is another crone. She is the grandmother goddess, the mother of all the divinities of the Hawaiian island people. So Venus is going to be touching two crone goddesses. What can we make of that? Well, I think those of us who are crones, and that's any woman really who's past menopause, but definitely if you're over 60, you're wake up. You are entering your cosmic crone years. Hi, Brenda. Good to see you. And Venus is lighting up the avatars of the crone in the chart. So that this moon cycle is a time, and I think autumn is a wonderful time for crones to feel their vital force, our vital force, because we are in our season, the season of fruitfulness, the season of changing into winter. And I invite you to tap into your sexuality, tap into your womb as a crone right now with Venus in Libra as part of this moon cycle. Let that be part of your ritual of this autumnal moon cycle, or spring if you're on the other side of the world. So that's one of the things that's setting the tone for this Libra new moon. Venus is setting the tone, and the two crone avatars are setting a tone. There's something else, and then of course Chiron opposite. There's something else that's really significant. There are two things that I want to mention briefly. One is a trine. I'm going to back up because Venus has a shot of superpower coming into her right now. She is at 17 Libra, and she is in a close, sextile. She is singing a close harmony with Jupiter over in Sagittarius at 17. Jupiter's at 1753. And simultaneously, Ceres is making her last conjunction to the Great Attractor. Now, earlier in the summer and the spring, Ceres was retrograding back and forth over the Great Attractor, and now she is in direct motion, and she's going to slide right past him during this next 2 weeks between now and the full moon. And so Ceres is the earth. She is nourishment. She is food. She is how we are aware of our bodies. She is incredibly physical. She is our connection to the earth. And when Ceres is showing up, especially in a general chart, a general reading like the moon, the new and full moon, she is speaking, I believe, for the earth. So this is the earth in a conjunction with the biggest thing in our universe that we know about, the Great Attractor, far beyond our galaxy, so mysterious as to seem divine. So this is a meeting of the immediacy of our mother, our home, and the great ultimate divine feminine. And Jupiter has completed his conjunction with the Great Attractor, but still close enough that he's still carrying that energy, and they're picking up the energy of Venus in Libra. So this is supercharging the feminine, supercharging the erotic. And now the erotic, yes, it's about sex, it's about romance, it's about love, it's about what happens when two lovers meet, it's about what happens when you are feeling your own self. Yeah. Hi, Joy. Good to see you. Thanks. We love Venus and Jupiter. Yes. So hot, hot, hot. So, but the erotic is also the creative force and the attractive force and the manifesting force. Eros is life force. And so, in this world we live in, where the erotic is feared, denigrated, co-opted, and cheapened, so that it serves a very narrow purpose that is not necessarily in the service of life, we reclaim that. And part of the work of the crone is to teach people the truth about the erotic. And it's a brave place for us to be, because we are not in a society that honors and respects the crone. So that's that connection right there, Venus and Jupiter. And then there are two other feminine and masculine entities that are in a trine, which is a flow. It's not that close harmony that the sextile is, but it's a movement. It's like they're flowing, they're connecting, they are lending their energies to one another. And that is Juno and Saturn. And Juno and Saturn feel like they go together to me. Juno was the queen of the gods. She was Jupiter's wife, actually, in mythology. She stands for the sacred marriage of masculine and feminine. She stands for the jealous wife, and she stands for justice, social justice, and the good of women and children. And I see that as an executive role. She is directing resources. She's a goddess of money. The temple of Juno was the temple, the mint, where the coins were minted in Roman times, the Roman Empire. So she's directing resources for the good of women and children. She is the great wife, the great mother. And as such, she administers the resources of the household. And in this case, we're talking about the cosmic household. And she is in this flow with Saturn over in Capricorn. So it sounds like she has the capacity here to direct the resources of government, to direct the resources of the corporations, the institutions, to wake the fuck up and take care of the women and children, take care of the ones who need to be supported because the future depends on them. In other words, to look at the big picture. And so, and here she's square Ceres in the Great Attractor. So that energy is like calling Juno and saying, wake up, take care of the earth, take care of the mothers, take care of the children, take care of families. And we can look at all of the ways that we're seeing that not done currently, whether it's systemic poverty, racism, families separated at borders, families displaced by war, flood, famine, mostly matters that are man-made and political, climate change, which I believe is man-made, and the response to it is definitely political. So we look at all of that and we say, we're being called, wake up. What can we do? Well, what we can do, each of us, is do what we're here to do. We all have a purpose, and if our values can align with the greater good, the good of our planet, the good of our species, the good of our communities, one another, if we open our hearts, then our fulfilling our own purpose will do good for everyone. I was listening to something which I've shared in my groups. I don't know if I shared it onto the page. I should do that. A conversation about power, about what does it mean to be a good woman, between Kasia Urbaniak and Juliana Margolis. I'm on Kasia's mailing list, so I got the notice of it. And what they said about women and power was something that we all need to understand about how wow, it's so big. It's hard. I've listened to it 3 times in 2 days, and I'm still trying to let it all in. But what it's really saying is claim your voice, ask for what you need, and do it together. We have become isolated from one another, and we think that power means we have to do it all ourselves. And we have to do it all by ourselves, and to ask for help is a weakness. No, we do need help. And I believe that these signs that we're looking at in this chart at this new moon is pointing to help. Juno and Saturn are saying there are structures. Create a system. Do not float untethered into your mission, into your desire, into working yourself to death. Make a structure for yourself. Find your structure, your community, your support system, the container in which you can thrive and function. Oh, there's a lot more right there that I'm looking at, but I want to talk briefly about, this brings us back to Jupiter and Venus at 17, because Jupiter and Juno are in a square, and Juno is opposite Black Moon Lilith and Neptune in Pisces. And Jupiter is square Black Moon Lilith and Neptune in Pisces. And Black Moon Lilith and Neptune are in an exact conjunction. And that is actually applying over the next day or two. They are going to move even closer. Let's talk about Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. And my life changed when Neptune entered Pisces. My sun is in Pisces. Holy crap. These both are sitting on top of my sun. I just registered that. My sun is at 16 and change Pisces. And there they are at 16 Pisces. I really need to just sit with this and meditate and say, what are they telling me? I'm going to do something. I was going to do it as part of this reading, but I'm going to do it separately because I don't want this to be too long. I'm going to do a live stream womb centering sometime in the next 24 hours as part of this new moon threshold, because Black Moon Lilith, she is, I think of her as the feminine before patriarchy, the goddess before patriarchy. She is the feminine, universal, in that great vortex of darkness and creative soup. And she doesn't stay there, though. In order to be Black Moon Lilith, she spirals down into form, creation. She is the feminine creatrix. And we happen to know that creation takes 2. It is duality becoming one, becoming expression as form. The double helix of DNA, which is in every living thing, is 2, taking expression as 1, according to the design. And Black Moon Lilith really represents that. And she is right here with Neptune. Neptune is the visionary. And visionary, a particular kind of visionary, the dreaming visionary, the imaginative visionary, the one who literally goes to sleep and dreams new worlds, or might participate in a teacher plant, a medicine journey, a shamanic journey with the drum, an altered state, a plant medicine, and vision and dream. So Neptune is incredibly creative and big, gathers from a big orb and brings it in and says, what can we make of this? Neptune also is famous for representing delusion, fog, I can't see clearly. And I think that happens, that side of Neptune happens when we cannot trust our dreams, when the dreamer is suspect. We tend to, in this contemporary society especially, we do not respect the dreamer. We do not respect the shaman. We do not respect the child, the imaginative child, or the visioning elder who is beginning to look into the next world. The artist is typically not respected. And so we call people delusional. The visionary who says, I want more. I want to create something extraordinary with my life. I want to use my gift in an extraordinary way. We do not approve of them unless they fit a certain profile. But I'm not going to go down that route right now, because right now we have the feminine creatrix right here with the god of the cloud, the shapeshifter, the creator, the dreamer, the visionary. In the visionary dreamer sign of Pisces, I said my life changed when Neptune entered Pisces. That's when the planets started talking to me. I began to get a feel for how planets, what planets had to say in terms of astrology, but also in terms of astronomy. They kind of came together. I would stand outside under the planets and listen, and then I would go to a chart and see I would learn where things were, because we can't see all the planets all the time. So this helps us see where they are. See you, Joy. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to that interview too. So this is making a T-square with very practical, executive, let's get shit done and take care of people, Juno, and Jupiter, who is expansion and good luck and brings power. Now this is an opposition and a square, which means it's holding a lot of energy. This is energy that is not in flow. It's energy that it could be stuck, but only if we allow it to be. The square is calling for human beings, the great deciders, the ones with the power to choose, to look at that energy and say, I take that energy and I move with it. And so we've got action energy and dreamer energy all at once. Can one person embody all of that? Well, maybe, each in our own way. It doesn't always look the same. But we can also dream together and merge our talents and take the aspect, the part of it that we're good at, for the collective. So maybe this is a sign with the new moon in Libra, which is about relationship, and not just binary, two relationships. It's all our relationships. We can bring this to the community, and we can put aside petty things and learn how to communicate with each other and how to lift each other up and how to take responsibility for our own emotions and not let ourselves be triggered by other people, and possibly reduce the amount of triggering that's going on all around, and begin to do something that will change the world. It starts by changing your own life. So that is my reading for today, and I will come back probably tomorrow morning and do a womb centering as we tune in to Black Moon Lilith and Neptune. And oh, by the way, I would love for you to have one of these readings for yourself. Desire and Destiny Intensive, where we do this Divine Feminine Astrology reading for your natal chart. And then, as you see, it brings up a lot of stuff. And when it's on your personal chart, it's really potent, and it gives you so much information about what's happening now, why you are here, how does your sexuality and your relationships inform both your healing journey and your purpose. And that's why it's the Desire and Destiny Intensive, because so much comes up that we continue on with 2 more sessions to unpack more of what the chart holds for you and help you begin to integrate it and take action and really, truly change your life. So, blessed, blessed new moon, and I will be back soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.